Hello, welcome to another video. My name is Chris Kylie and today I am back with another Planet Zoo video. We finally completed our last park where we're working on Desert Zoo. The Forgotten City is the name. We started in June with this park and I finally finished it for today, so I'm really happy we have done it. It was such a fun journey again. We have a lot of new experience now with building as well. We had some more challenges to do and I'm really happy to share it with all of you. I tried to make a fun little Planet Zoo tour to this park and I really hope you guys enjoy it. Have fun watching. And thank you so much for being here. I will just talk along the video and sometimes I will be quiet so you just can see what we have created. We have built a lot. This was definitely more of a building park than an animal park compared to our jungle zoo. That was also of course so much building, but I also was more thinking about animals. Now we just place some little habitats in between here and there. The city is more feel like living and you get maybe like a story where the villagers were keeping and what they were doing there, but we definitely were more on the building side of this park. And I really like to share the creations what we have created. Thank you so much for being here. Feel free to stop by of course in my Planet Zoo streams. We played every Thursday evening UTC plus 2 my time and have fun watching. First, before we started the park, I had a little idea where I want to go for, like a concept idea. I want to create like a desert zoo because our last zoo park was a jungle park, so now I want to do something totally different. And I thought, how fun will it be if it is like maybe an older town, a little bit in the medieval times maybe, where like a lot of villagers has lived their time and you can see it is a bit older. City and town is just built in one kind of style because that was maybe in a time like normal. I like to go with one kind of flow and style at the top, or what you can see above the ground, and then my twist for this whole park was like I want to make like a second world, but the second world is going to be underground. So above the ground you just see like a beautiful desert town with little buildings and palace and maybe some oasis, some habitat, some nature here and there. But underground we're going to go for the opposite direction. I will not tell it right now, but you will see in a second, I hope. To only go to the city you can go with the train. We have make like a train road or rails, so with no really purpose. You can just place some train roads on the ground without really completing it. There has not to be like a train on it. This gives us the option to make something like a little station where you can imagine there will be a train stopping, and that is how people come to the city. I think it is really fun idea if you make a park for yourself. Just think about like, how do people get there? What is the options to go to this park? You can also go by boat, plane, I don't know. If you do these massive open sandboxes, it is always like so empty. That feels a little bit weird how you place there a zoo park, right? Sometimes you have like a creative options like, okay, this is how they can go there, and we thought of a train, so that will be our start of the zoo park. And as you can see, we have built an old little station where parts are already falling off the building. It's standing here for ages. It is just a small atmospheric. Here and there already some green. I just like the little sign that is all falling apart slowly. I think we did what we do and it was really fun to make it. We have placed it around this whole town, like our city wall, how do you want to call it? Really early on we placed these walls, so just so I had an idea where to go with all the buildings and the stuff, so I will not go overboard. I am the queen of going overboard. So it was not my idea this time, so I want to set up my boundaries where I can build, and we did it with this like more castle-like walls from the Twilight deck, if I am right, or some buildings or pieces. They were really useful for this park, so really fun. It makes it more like the medieval time kind of village, what I really like, and it's really cool though. In the city we had created like all little buildings. I just made one kind of wall piece, decorated as much, and then I were shaping little houses. The fun part of this is because I want to go with flat roofing. Didn't have to bother much about the forms of the houses, because with the flat roof you can easily make every kind of building nice, right? It gives me the freedom to make like weird shaped little houses, giving you more a bit of an idea that the villagers itself has built all the houses. I'm really happy with how they look, and we use a lot of like little tiles, little dots and knots, and colored everything a bit in the same color. Also, you can see a little bit of detail of red. For some reason I felt like it was a nice color. Maybe that is the anthem color or proud color of the city. I have no clue. But the palace is also having those red kind of colors, so it makes at the end more sense when you see it all together. Of course, the city is also, we don't have to think about cars or big ways where people can walk or do their thing. It is just all small and dense actually. Little streets here and there with some lightnings. We place a lot of stones as well. Stones were the key in this park. Even it is like a desert. I place a lot of plants though, but I was just searching for the kind of plants who don't are speaking too much, right? If that makes sense. It is more like dry plants, or like fat plants, or I don't know how all those plants called. More desert plants, like just some plants that will fit the vibe in this desert. Although maybe I have placed a little bit too much plants and trees here and there, but I just like the feeling of a bit more nature between all the buildings and stuff. So maybe you can consider that this place has like a little bit like an oasis. We actually make like a really little oasis here and there in the place with some green stuff as well, just to brighten up, giving a bit of contrast in the area. But I think they are looking really cool at the end. It's just a little bit chaotic. That was also how it feels when I was making this, but you know, chaotic means creativity and freedom, so I like it. I wouldn't go with it, and yeah, yes, queen. A little square where you can find all the food, where people can take some drink, go to the toilet and all kind of stuff. And this little square is in front of the big palace. The palace is going to be the whole main thing of this city, of course. Maybe that is where the villagers always when go on a Sunday, or the church or palace, or I don't know if they were religious at that time. But then perhaps if medieval times were weird times, isn't it? But every like little city or town always have a center point, and that is in this case the palace. Later I will tell you more about the palace too. Yes, and in this palace we're also going to find out what the second world ID is of my Planet Zoo park. All the animals we have placed in this park, we have the koalas, the meerkats, some kangaroos, sand cats as well. It was really funny actually. First we placed the sand cats in the area where the kangaroos are now, but apparently sand cats don't like to be more than with 2 or 3 at the same place, and we had a massive naturey habitat for them. So I had to replace them to somewhere else and finding an animal who really likes to be with big families, and happily the kangaroos are, because they are just one of my favorite animals. So they are happy. Also, I have some exhibits. I made a little town area for this as well, where people just can walk in a circle and embrace them in the buildings. Underground, we have also placed some habitats, of course, where we can find the snow wolves, or just the wolves, and some pandas, and I call them the space pandas. Ooh. Really cool. I think underground, it is my favorite part what we have created there, but we will be there in a second. The koalas are super cute. They always climb in the trees. This was the first habitat we made. I call these habitats in this park maybe more the in-betweens habitats, and by meaning that I will say like ID there were already buildings, but we have some space open and then from that space we make the habitat so the animals can live there. Of course, that was not how we created it, but that is more the story that I have for this park. The habitats can be a bit smaller, but I like it. It was challenging as well because we don't need a lot of animals to take care of. That is also cool. Guests are like walking everywhere through this town to find them. I can see them enjoying their time over there in the desert. Meerkats are like the second animals we have. I also was thinking like, oh, maybe the meerkats get worshipped before. And also find some meerkat statues here and there in the city. Also in front of the palace. So they have a bit of a bigger habitat. Their family is getting bigger as well. They are so tiny and they have so much space to walk and play. But I think that is cool because we had a bit of a difficulty with level height. Some pathway was going really low near to the river and the other pathway was a bit higher next to the buildings with the little bridge as well and waterfall next to it. It's really nice, and I think all this area looks really cool. I'm happy with it, of course. Place here and there some bistros just in the same style so people can sit, hide from the sun a bit and take their food. I think they are really happy as well. And here we are arriving at the red kangaroo habitat. This habitat is built like outside the walls of the city. Also wanted to design a little bit of the nature around this city. Of course it is in desert, so we don't have much to do, I guess, but it was really fun to make still a nature kind of place in the desert without looking too much. First we placed here the sand cats, but later the red kangaroo arrived in here because it is way bigger than I had planned actually. And we were creating this outside nature habitat. We got an update for these view domes. These like little domes you can place like on the ground, in the water. Your guests can go there and watch them through the domes to see them. We didn't have to bother with pathways that's going outside the city wall. It was actually really easy. Nature can be nature. They just placed some viewing domes, so we succeeded for this desert kind of nature area. Place it here, just some plants, also some more dead trees, and not too much. I think it is really doing the job. Stones, of course. We have enough space for the red kangaroo, so they are happy. It is a big family already. It is really fun to watch the animals from these viewing domes, but also you can see the city wall, and you have like a feeling you are somewhere else. So it is more like the nature outside of the city, and in the city we have of course all the houses and buildings. And we placed the sand cats. These were actually the last animals that we placed, and this was the last habitat that we have created, because we worked a bit like first on the top of the ground and later we just going with the whole train ride experience, and then at the end we had to still finish up the stuff above the ground. So this was like the last little bit we have created. I think we find the exact cool place for these little cats. Just a smaller one. We created our own fences as always we do. Makes a bit more unique and fun, and we can just continue the style of this city like everywhere. Also here and there we place of course the work facilities. We just build them and wrap them up in the same kind of building design as we do for the houses. You will not notice actually them. We placed the normal pathways as well. We just hidden it up with a slightly little bit of this working pathway. I saw this trick or tip on the YouTube somewhere, I don't know exactly where, and I was trying it. And most of the times it is working, but sometimes the people also get over this little pathway and then get stuck, and then they're going to complain. So it is not the best idea, but most of all it is working, I guess. Yeah, we created like a little scenes here and there just to give an idea. There was something before. What I say, this is an old town, so people make their relaxing places. They have some boats, they do fishing, or you can tell me what people did in the older times, right? I just try to play some decoration here and there. Also not too much, because it is a zoo, of course. Maybe it is a bit weird. Maybe also in that time they don't have that much stuff as we have now. That's the thing, but I'm not sure. But hey, it was fun to make it all. I think the green with the stones and just the buildings making the tone in overall. Then we have the palace. Palace is going to be the main thing. We have like worked so many streams on this place, which was really fun because we can try some new building techniques out. I created the whole ceiling as well from these little shiny tiles. Coloring was the hardest part, I believe, in this place, because everything was in the same kind of vibe and we just had to find the right colors for the palace. So it will not like be that much different from the town, but of course it can be a bit different from the town. At the end we went with this brown color and the red same kind of color, and then it was more complete for me because we also used all the red little colors in the little houses and stuff. And now you see it back in this palace, and now it feels more like cohesive, and I was like, yay! This is the color that we need. In the palace was just a big open space actually. We created our own little light design as well. People can get the water over here and sit and relax. You have some stairs that is going down. I want to make something special. That was the first thing before we did building. In the palace there is where we're going to switch to the other world that we want to create. I didn't know how at the time, but I just did know that I want to do it in the palace. So in the palace we make some stairs that is going down, and under the temple we're arriving at the library. The library is like hiding all the history and art of this town. That was a little bit the kind of idea, and I just searched up a cool picture. I can place it here as well, and that was a little bit the vibe where I was going for. Sometimes working with the picture gives you a good idea how you can create or try yourself out some new forms, some new building materials to get somewhere. But it is not just a library, it is just a magical one. Because here we have a train, another train, and this train will take you on a journey, like a little bit of an experience ride to another dimension. And this is where the whole second world is going to swap and start. Now we're going with the train. I can maybe do one little recording with the train, but at the end the train is really closed off, sadly. I wish there was an option you can take off the roofs, then it will be way better, but sadly we have the roofs. Sometimes it is also fun because it brings its own light, but yeah, I would just fly with myself with my own cam through this whole experience, but then you guys get like the most of the good vibe what this kind of experience is. This is all about trying to make transitions, right? Like we're going through a little bit of a story part, so it will not be feeling that random, but if you think about it, it is probably the most random things we ever have tried, but bear with me. First, we just having the same kind of wood structures from the library, but now it is going slowly to turn. Like a little bit you are in a time capsule, just turning around. It gets a little bit like an illusion, but you get somewhere else. the end of this tunnel, we getting more green and arriving in a jungle. This is just like a little bit throwback to our jungle park. I had so much fun to play so much green. We placed purple waters, the lightning, I believe even some falling leaves, some dust, setting the toad, and this was our first opposite thing what we did from, of course, a dry desert to more a living green, boggy-ish jungle. Then we have to make a transition from jungle to snow. So we're going even deeper in the ground. Slowly we have a little bit less more green. It's going to be more gray and white like stones. Also some water. It's more like taiga style. Taiga environment will fit, of course, and it's getting a little bit more colder. Then we are arriving like in a little snow tunnel where we're just setting the tone with some lightning here and there, some smoke, and then we have like this massive big open wolf habitat. This cool area, I had so much fun with working it. A big open tunnel actually, where the train just goes to in a half circle, and we have created like more mining idea. Maybe the elves or the dwarves were here before under the ground mining their business. Mining their business, do you get it? So that is also like the architecture that you will see here, all the constructions what I've crafted, even our little elevator that is going up in somewhere. I think it is such a story and cozy little environment, and later we placed the wolves in here. They have such a big place now for themselves. People just can watch them do the train. It was a bit hard at the first because all the stones we placed, the wolves cannot walk on everything, so we had to smooth a bit out with the stones, but at the end it really worked, and I think it's a fun place. It is just again like the opposite from the desert what we have made. And then it is even getting colder. The snow stones slowly transform in ice blocks. It's even getting colder because we are slowly heading and going even deeper. We're going to space. This was my master plan idea, if you can call it that. I just want to make space in Planet Zoo. This was a true challenge. We have to work the longest on this whole area, but I think it is so cool. It is so massive. I have never created something like this before, so I have completed my goal. I am happy. I will tell you step by step a bit. First we entering, of course, with the train, the space station. It is where the train will stop so people can get exit the train or people can continue journey from there. This is the place where people can walk again and experience the underground or the space area by foot. You can go left or right from the station. First we're going to the right, going to the habitat, because we have crafted like an habitat for the pandas. My chat was saying like, oh my gosh, they are like space pandas, so we have now space pandas in this whole park. Here I just want to create the illusion. Everything is dark. You can maybe a little bit see in the undeep. You can watch in infinity or an ending place. There's no gravity here. There's also no time. It feels like just a fun thing to work with no gravity is like you can make floating rocks, floating items, even some little buildings are collapsing, but they are just hanging there in the sky or in the space doing nothing. In this whole area, I think what making the most unique of this place is all the lightning. You guys always know what I say about lightning, but in this case you can really see it. All those little stars are helping. We also created some little like fake sunlight or something in the distance, and it is so cool lighting up all the little habitats that we had with trees or stones. We use different kind of colors as blue, purple, yellow, orange. I think it is really cool. Oh no, my sun is going. Oh, I look ugly. No, joking. But this is really a lot different. It was also a bit tricky to build them because we still had to place the invisible barriers, but we make it through. We also just disappear some of the ground with black stones. You have those kind of stones that you can color, and I make them all in full black. These black stones that we used, I had to make sure I have to cover up this whole underground big open space. Because if you go to normal daylight, you can maybe see lighting up the tunnel a little bit. Not that much because we were really deep as well. But I just want to make sure we didn't see any daylight. No matter how possible. But that means I had to place like black stones for I think at least 8 hours. I'm not even like being dramatic now, but every time I stream it I just decided okay, or play the game for okay, I do it for 1 hour and I had to do it like 6 times or 7 times or something like that. You can actually see now you cannot even see any edges or round walls here and there, so I think that is exactly what I had to do to complete this whole vision of building a space underground, and it is so cool. I just also hope to inspire you. Like Planet Zoo is the building game. You can make whatever you like. You just have to maybe find an image or an idea or a theme where you go for, and then just try out and experiment. And as well, what I say with this whole thing, it will take hours, but if you're dedicated and just have the patience, then you will get there, and it is so cool. I'm so proud of this little project. The other side of the space station, I wanted to make like another little area where people just can take food or go to the toilet again. And this idea was more like, oh, you have maybe a big comet that is also half open, and so we can build something in this little comet or planet, or what is it? Actually not really see clearly those stones, but you can maybe get the idea to build in something rocky for fun, just to undo a little bit where we were working for hours on and go with another flow. A little town, more like Indian kind of style, but I really like. Can use some more color, so here and there, a bit more resting place where you can take your food or lunch. You can also take even the pathway even further. We have created way at the beginning also like little tunnel, stairway tunnel, where people just can go by foot from above the ground to underground. I felt like, of course, you can go with the train. It is also good to have like an extra option how you can exit this underground or just go to the underground. More like an industrial kind of thing, not that crazy, just some blocks making the walls, a little bit of structures with iron kind of objects, and some steam and color lighting, of course, in the most beautiful colors. Going back, of course, from the stair exit, because I want to go further now with the train tour. Now we are underground, we have admired all the cool things in this weird world, and now we have to go back to the normal zoo again. It was also a little bit of a challenge, because how do you go from space back to the desert zoo? We were thinking like, oh, how cool is it if you, as a visitor of this journey, you go back, you have to be in a space, but of course when people go back to Earth, you also have to do like tests, like how's your condition of your body and all that kind of stuff. So we thought of a more of a space lab test experience. The train is going slowly up, of course, but meanwhile you are arriving like in a laboratory where people will do tests with you. Not actually, but the kind of storytelling it is. Slowly we're getting more up. You see all this more technical-ish kind of form, just a bit random. Later you will go through a really big lab tunnel where you just have to get through some proof. A waterproof we have created, a windproof, a mist or a kind of smog proof to test the human body if you are still good enough to go back to Earth, right? I think that also will work here on Earth. Maybe I don't believe that people have to auto test or this weird kind of test, but just like, of course, when people are arriving back to Earth, they have to do more tests how they can recover again to the world because there's gravity again and all kind of stuff. So I thought it was a fun little playful idea to go for. When the train just get through all of these kind of tests, you were arriving like a Caribbean island kind of idea, adding some more stones again and the plants, a bit of both world, right? A little bit more green, but we going slowly to more warmth, and then at the end we arriving the library again. And that was actually the whole experience. Maybe I have talked not that much, or I have talked too much, I'm not sure, guys. I'm just recording this before I going to record everything in the game. I really hope you guys can like it. I am not sure if I missed anything. Probably I will make some shots here and there as well. Then you get like a good view what you can create in some months. I'm really happy with this park. I think it took us 10 months-ish to create it, but of course I only did it actually when I was streaming. Sometimes I play a little bit in my own time to create a bit further because, for example, this library with all those books, it was taking ages if I would do it only on stream. So I just really enjoy to create this all with you, to support you, but also give inspiration, or I ask for all your inspiration to create something fun and cool. Stay here already? No, with bloop. And of course I also want to show you some footage like in nighttime. Lightning is setting the tone, giving you feelings in this game. Enjoy this park by nighttime. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. I'm really excited for the next journey. What I say, feel free to stop by the streams if you like to play with me or to hang out. I always love to create together some stuff and make awesome new park. And let me just know what you think of what we have created. If you like it, dislike it. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good week. Share your amazing buildings with me as well. I am also on the Discords. I don't know how that is working, but you can find me if you go to the stream. And hopefully I will see you in the next stream. And have an amazing day, guys. Ciao! Made like a